Welcome back to Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. Today, this is the car we're working on. Looks in pretty good shape, doesn't it? This is a 2008 Echos Imperator, the V8 DOHC CGM engine. We haven't worked on a CGM before, so that's interesting for us. We bought this from the barn for £26,493. We currently still make a profit, but we are going to rebuild this to factory standard as we haven't done this model of car before. And as usual, we're going to start with taking the engine out and fixing that first, and then we'll move on to everything else. If you are enjoying this series or any content on the channel, don't forget to subscribe. A like on the episodes does really help as well. If you're watching this on Facebook, these videos are out at the exact same time as they are on YouTube for all the rebuild videos. But any other content, check out the YouTube channel. And make sure to subscribe if you enjoy the content. Now, back to the car today. So, a pretty nice looking car. A more of a recent one, 2008. So one of the more recent cars. Just taking off the drive shaft. We've now got the gearbox take off, but starter motor first. So the interesting thing about the CGM engine is it does look different to the other ones we've done. We normally do DOHC engines, but not a CGM. So slight difference. It's a straight V8. It's not a one carb or two carb or anything like that. Once we put it on the actual engine stand, we'll be able to have a closer look at the differences. You can look at the top though and see the difference immediately. Now, just checking nothing else is attached that we need to take off, or any liquids are going to get spilt. So the ignition coils are different. That's quite interesting. But I think we're safe. We can take this out of the car, and we can go and put it on our engine stand in the workshop and start taking it apart. As usual, we'll speed through the taking it apart. Keep an eye out for the new parts we don't usually see. Ignition coils being one of the big ones. We'll see you in a second. Right, is that nearly done? So there were a few differences into the normal DOHC V8 engines. Pretty straightforward. We've missed something. So hidden behind this compartment, there is something there. You can't get to it other than through this little channel, and that's the camshaft. Didn't notice that hidden away in there, so it just slides in by looks of things. It's an interesting one. Right, we're going to go off fix everything. Back in a second. Today's everything fixed. We're now going to rebuild this engine, and once again, look out for the parts that are different to the normal V8 engines we've done in the past as we slide this camshaft into the hidden space. And we'll see you when it's all done. So just finishing off the engine now. Last few bits to go on as the rider roller goes in place. I think that is everything. There's always something you can miss. The throttle's a bit different on the front to what we've had previously as well. It doesn't look as imposing as some of the V8 engines have done previously. Especially the 2-carb, they look very imposing. This doesn't. It seems to have a more of a modest size to it, or look at least. But power could be an interesting one. V8 you would expect to be pretty high on the leaderboards when it comes to top speed. Racetrack, you just don't know. It all depends on how the car handles as well, to be fair. But engine is done, so let's go back to the car itself, and we've got to take off take apart anything in the engine bay first, and then we'll do the bodywork, and then we'll do the suspension itself. So air filter needing to come out first of all. It's actually missing a clip, so we need to remember we need an extra clip A there. The air filter comes out, and then the fuse box. We'll do a normal trick. We'll take the fuses out. We'll set it to build mode, and then we'll be able to add all the fuses to our shopping list so we don't miss any out or don't get any wrong. Especially sometimes when you take the fuses out, there's one missing, and you don't know unless you actually do this. When you actually go through the fuses in your inventory and just add them manually to your shopping list, if you're missing one, you won't know until you come to put it back together. So it's always handy to add to build mode and do it that way. I find it the easiest way to do things. I do this the same for the exhaust system and stuff like that as well. Things that can't be fixed, but just in case something is missing. It's less likely to miss something that way, that I find. We'll take that out. And while we're here, engine bay wise, let's see what else is missing. Obviously we've got a radiator already here. So what else do we need? So we need the radiator fan housing, power steering reservoir, coolant, battery, brake. And I'm pretty sure we're missing something else. Yes. ECU, and also the power steering module. So we can take out the radiator now, and we can take out the ABS pump. I say power steering module, I meant ABS module. There we go. So that is all done. So let's take off all the bodywork. That's another thing we can fix while we're doing all the suspension parts as well. Lights a little bit more hidden. Front bumper though comes off. Right, door, window screen. Got these little windows at the back as well. Can't forget those. They're easily missed, that's the problem. Tail lights, rear bumper. A trunk. Is that a window as well at the back there? Yep, rear window. Left light. Okay, mini window at the back here. So take that one out. Door, which will take everything else out for us. Front left fender, and I think we've got, yep, lights are kind of hidden into that front area, so you'll be a bit wary of that. Okay, we'll take out the internal seats as well, and that way it's just a bit easier to replace them. I used to forget about these so much, and now I'm kind of on it, I think, when it comes to these. I kind of know more of what to remember to do. Taking a bit of time, to be fair. Okay, let's raise this up, and then we will take apart the suspension, and we'll see you once it's all apart. So that is the suspension just about done. Just going to take apart the exhaust, and then we'll put back to build mode so we can actually add all the exhaust to our shopping list. Makes life a little bit easier for us. Rear muffler coming off there. There we go. So if we do this in a decent fashion, we should catch everything. Sometimes a bit difficult to line them up, especially with the camera being where it is. Done that one. These two to do the middle mufflers. We've got two there. Just got to bring it around a little bit more. There we go. Rear muffler on the end there. I think there's another rear muffler. We could add the same one, to be fair, make it a bit easier. They should be the same. So there's the car stripped, completely bare. Last thing we need to do is weld it, and then we can go off and fix everything or buy the parts that we can't fix. But let's weld it first. You're not going to be able to tell too much of the bodywork because of the colour it is. It's going to be a bit more difficult to see the change. Sometimes it's a little bit more shiny, but I don't think the frame was that bad anyway. Right, off we go. So we're back. We've fixed everything. We've bought the parts we couldn't fix. And now we're going to rebuild the car. As usual, we're going to speed through this so you guys can see a sped up version of what we did. It's fairly straightforward though, very simple to what we did, or similar to what we did when taking it apart. And there we are, we're just about done. Exhaust going back on now. So far it's been a pretty good rebuild. Fairly simple, not many bits forgotten about, missed, which is also a bonus, saves you a bit of time. There we go. I do enjoy the rebuilds just because the finished article is so different to the car you start with. I think that's why I really enjoy them so much. Plus I like numbers, I like putting around the leaderboards, around the tracks and seeing where they land on the leaderboard. I like that. Right, the internal seats going back in. The driver's seat next, and the steering wheel. Can't forget the steering wheel. That definitely is going to be needed when we put it around the track. As I said in the previous episode, we are looking forward to the Hot Rod DLC and the actual racing element of that. I'm looking forward to being able to add a third leaderboard and just, you know, different to top speed because it'll be over a set distance, I'm assuming. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that works, and we'll put our cars through their paces once more with a different leaderboard as well, which will be interesting. Be interested to see who you race against. Would it be AI, other people, similar cars? Not sure. We need to put a number plate on. There we go. The little tiny window at the back. We've got the rear bumper and the trunk. And we're still looking forward to doing our first performance vehicles. Obviously, we need to get to 2 and 3 star versions and stuff, but it's definitely I want to get there sooner rather than later, but it isn't that easy, as we've kept it random to when we find the cars and where we find them. They're only in the places you originally find them. We haven't put it so they're everywhere. I tend to go for cars we haven't done when I'm off on a spending spree. But there we go. Rather than waffling on, that is the car finished and is 100% factory rebuilt. It looks good. Currently, we're making a decent profit, hopefully, on this vehicle. We'll come to that at the end. So let's go off and paint it, and you'll see what we've done with it. It's a little bit different, I know. We've gone for the orange with the livery, the SRC Racing. I like it. I think the orange and the black works really well. I like the little stickers there, the vinyls, they're really good. I think it looks good. I'm pretty impressed and pretty happy with how it came out, to be fair. Black spoiler on the back. This car means business, and I think, fingers crossed, it's going to do the business around the tracks as well. That's my hope. But yeah, definitely striking a message. I think it's one of the better looking cars that we've done so far. Okay, quick look inside, and then we're off to the racetrack. So this is our fastest lap, and you will notice this is our second lap of the 5. Ones after this were pretty similar, just a little bit off from what we did on this lap. So the second lap was our best so far. This car in itself is pretty quick under acceleration. It does feel in the corners like you're having to wrestle it around the corner though, which is a bit disconcerting, and does make you want to hold off a little bit on the throttle in corners. But that's my only real bugbear with this car. Other than that, it handled pretty well. It's just the corners are just a little bit of an issue, as you'll see right here. Trying to keep it tight, but just trying to wrestle the car around whilst keeping the speed high is difficult. Other than that, it wants to drift a little bit there, you can see, and you know, the suspension doing its job, but could be better. A little bit wide on the exit there. Managing to keep the foot to the floor though, to keep the speed up, to keep the time moving quickly. Again, another corner here. If you look at how we're trying to wrestle it, trying to get it as close to the apex as possible, but on the corner drifting very wide. Again, it's just that control of the car is lacking for some reason. Hopefully performance version eventually will be different for that, but we shall see. Long left-hander now, taking around nicely again, having to wrestle the car, just trying to keep the car moving. You can see the steering wheel trying to wrestle it round but keep the speed high, and that was my biggest bugbear, and I think this could have been quicker if it wasn't for that. It was just the steering and suspension, didn't really want to help around the corners as much. Could also be the tyres. I always put the factory ones back on. We'll do performance and we sport tyres all the way. That's a different story. Right, last corner to go, and we are going to finish with a lap time of a 1:42.185. That's third on the leaderboard. That is incredible for this car. I knew it was going to be quick and good, but I didn't think it would be that good. Third on the leaderboard. But now for the top speed. This is also where I think it should do well. It's a V8. It's a CGM engine. We haven't really done one of these, so I'm in a bit of grey area here. I'm expecting a good speed, especially by its lap time. It can differ so much. Some are better in straight lines, some are better around the track. Let's see what we get to. I'm expecting 200 kilometers per hour, and we are nearly there already. There we go, 200 hit. Now, how much more can we go? I think our fastest car so far, the record holder, is 303 kilometers per hour. I don't think that this is hitting that. In fact, we're topping out. That's it. The car's done. With so much track still to go, this car topped out so early. That's a disappointment really with this engine. So we're going to finish with a 239 kilometers per hour, 148.508 miles per hour, 8th on our leaderboard. Disappointed. So for this rebuild, we have spent a total of £20,071, including buying the car. It goes to £46,564. We can sell it for £88,397, a profit of £41,833. Not bad, good on the lap, not so good on top speed. We're going to go off on a spending spree now to get some new cars to rebuild. Next episode, we'll have their first hot rod car from the new DLC to rebuild, so join us for that one next time. And we'll see you soon.